Hello everybody, my name is David. Welcome to the second part of my question and answer videos where I'm answering all your guys' questions from the last Q&A videos last Monday. So any questions you guys have, please ask me in the comment section. I'll answer them in the next Q&A video next Monday. So let's get started with part 2. If you missed part 1, please go back and watch it. Sarah from Iceland again. Hello Sarah again. My ex used to tell me, but you think I'm still a good person, right? I don't want you to see me in a bad light. He was afraid of me exposing him, I guess. What do you think? Yeah, and you went on to, and I'm not going to read it all, but you went on to, yeah, he's a pretty bad guy. So, afraid of being exposed. Yes, people are afraid. If someone's afraid of being, if someone is a bad person, they're typically afraid of people knowing. Okay, even if they don't care that they hurt you. All right, so they just don't want everyone to know. It triggers this really instinctual thing we have in all of us for thousands of years of evolution. We believe that, and we recognize and know that we survive in groups, in society. We need society. To be ostracized from society is the worst thing ever. Think about the old movies where they send the guy on the horse out the gate. See ya. I mean, that's all they got to do. You know, see you. You're on your own. Bye. And that's death. That really triggers stuff. You see psychopaths who committed murder, right? And they always got to have something to say. You know, some just come out and say, yeah, you know, I killed everyone. No one cares, you know. But a lot of them are like, you know, I don't remember. I was on drugs. I didn't do it. You know, I was crazy. You know, the devil told me to do it. It's not my fault. I'm not a bad person. I just got this problem or whatever. So people don't want to be denied, kicked out of society, right? So they don't want people to know they're a bad person. And this is, look, these kind of problems are self-esteem, big, major self-esteem problems. Right? So this is shame, massive, massive, massive shame. And this guy, even though he does bad things, you know, really concerned about everyone knowing he's a bad person. Well, don't stop doing bad things, right? Well, I hope that answers your question, Sarah. Thank you. Shannon from Western United States. Hello, Shannon. I've been no contact for over a year, yet I still have dreams about the narcissist. It's always me packing up my things and moving. Why am I dreaming about this? How do I make it stop? Thank you in advance. You're welcome, Shannon. Thank you. So I tell people a lot of times they're having dreams and nightmares, things that are bothering them. A lot of times what's important, you know, write it down. You got 30 seconds usually that you remember a dream. Write it down right away. Keep a little pad and some paper and a pen by your bed and write it down. But write down how you feel. That's what's important, guys, okay? Because the experience that caused this was an emotionally traumatic experience. It wasn't a physical traumatic experience, right? You didn't have physical trauma to your arm. No, you had emotional trauma in your brain, okay? So how did you feel? How is this making you feel? Why do you feel this way? And if you're dreaming, if it's your ex that's always in the dream, then it's probably some way he made you feel. More, and even more likely, it's some even childhood pain that's resurfacing again. Okay, it's really bothering you. These things are, that's CPTSD. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder, beginning from your childhood and reoccurring in your adult life. Okay, attachment trauma, things like this. Okay, so talk about it. Talk about your dreams and write them down so you remember. But most of the time, guys, write down how you felt. Because the dreams sometimes don't make any sense and there's weird scenarios, but there's a gist of it. Why? It's always me packing up my things and moving. You know, maybe did you leave the narcissist? And that can be traumatic too, leaving someone you love. Did you have to move a lot in your childhood, bounce around? This sounds like no stability. And it may not be physical, emotional, no emotional stability in your life. Kind of rocky up and down. Am I getting somewhere? Maybe. Talk to somebody. Talk to a professional. Talk. Talk all this stuff out. Dive into your childhood. Dive into this relationship. Talk about your dreams. Okay? It'll help, Shannon. Thank you. Recovery from Mucho Sickos from North Carolina. Hello. I've been no contact for 1.5 years. Good for you. Moving forward slowly, but feeling happy again. Good. Back in August, was hoovered by proxy from a mutual friend, then 2 weeks ago, showed up at my job out of the blue. Came in and sat down and said, "Can we talk?" Interesting. That's not really asking, is it? No boundaries. I abused you. I haven't said sorry. I moved on and went on to date somebody else. And now I'm just going to come into your work, sit down and say, "Hey, can we talk?" Unbelievable. I hope you didn't talk to them at all. Freaked me out completely. Totally didn't show no emotion. Said I was sick. Started shaking. Got up to walk away. And he says, "I knew this was a bad idea, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry." Only there for a few minutes and left. I know you're not a mind reader, but he's hoovered about every 2 to 3 months. The entire time, it's keeping me from moving forward. This was the first time I've seen him in over a year, and that was in public. You think the hoovers are finally over? I know I showed emotion, but I also rejected him. Thank you for all your help. Well, I'm really sorry that you have to keep dealing with this person. Something needs... Well, you need to tell people at your work that he's not allowed there. I hope you can do that and not be too scared to do that. Tell your boss, you see this person needs to leave, be asked to leave. You could get a lawyer, contact him and say, no more contact or we're going to get a restraining order. Document what time, what day, what he did, what he said, how you felt, always how you felt. Okay, document these things. He might be, stalking you a lot more than you think. My guess is this. He didn't apologize every time he hurt you. He didn't apologize when the relationship was over. He didn't apologize every 2 to 3 months when he hoovered you. So he tried it this time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry. I'll say sorry for him because he doesn't mean it. He's not getting what he wants. So he's finally willing to say, I'm sorry. Pathetic. And I mean, really come and shove it down your throat. And he has to show up to manipulate you guys. Manipulators need to be as close as possible. Can't manipulate somebody if they're not contacting you at all. If you live on the other side of the world and there's zero contact, they can't manipulate you, right? If they manipulate you through email, they'll want to get your phone number and text you. And if they're texting, they want to call you on the phone. They want to get you on the phone and manipulate you. And if they can't manipulate you on the phone, then they want to get you in person. So he's trying to get what he wants from you. And now he's trying about anything. Showing up at your work. I'm sorry. And that's awful. I'm sorry. Talk to a lawyer. Go to the police. File a police report. You just said you're freaked me out. Freaked me completely out. You were sick. Started shaking. I don't know. Has he ever hurt you? Has he ever threatened you? Talk to a lawyer. Talk to a lawyer. See what they can do. Write him a letter. Threaten with a restraining order. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Keep that no contact. Make sure that he's not looking at you anywhere. If you have social media, I'd turn it off right now. Temporary for a little while. Temporary. Because we need him to break off that attachment. That's what it is. He can't. Can't break it off. So he's still attached to you. That's why he's doing this. Good luck. I'm sorry. Paul. Why does the covert narcissist become more angry and speed up the final discard? The nicer I was, and the more I tried to make the peace. Okay, I'm reading that wrong. I'm sorry. Let me read this over again. Why does the covert narcissist become more angry and speed up the final discard? The nicer I was, the more I tried to make the peace. Is this any form of guilt because she cares for me on some level? It's been since August 4th, no contact, one Hoover attempt, then totally blocked her. Okay, so why do they become more angry and speed up the final discard? Well, I'm not sure, Paul. How about, why do they become more angry and speed up the final discard? So basically, when they start devaluing you, that's how they feel about you. Lots of hate, lots of rage. They can't talk about how they feel. They can't handle relationships. They can't do it. They don't have the capability to do it. So it's not, are they doing it over here with this person? They did it a little bit with me. No, they didn't. Your relationship was horrible. All of it. Okay? Not just the times they were completely abusing you. It was sick, and she doesn't know how to talk. She doesn't know how to tell you how she feels. She doesn't have to tell you what she wants. She manipulates, lies, right? So they're with somebody, that on the pedestal, love bombing, is because their hormones are so high, right? And then when those go down, which everyone's does, then you're not making me feel good anymore. I don't know if I really want to be with this person anymore. They start looking for other places to feel good. So this sounds like she already had somebody else lined up. They love to play this little game where they stay with someone and say, oh, I'm leaving them. I'm going to leave them, but I just can't yet because of this. I can't because of this. Why everyone's waiting. They're like, oh, I love you though. I'm going to be with you. This person treats me horrible and I just can't leave them yet. Sounds like something like that was going on maybe. But they start really resenting the person they're with, because in a way you lied to them. They put you up on such a pedestal and then you didn't live up to it. You were so great. They told you how great you were, but then they realized you really weren't. They stick it out for a little while. They don't really talk about anything. They just sit there and just keep hating you more, picking on you and telling you this and that, and then they're bounced. I don't know why it speed up the final discard. I don't quite know exactly what you're asking me, Paul. Ask me again what that means if you can. But yeah. They usually, before they even start, picking on you and stuff, they already don't like you. A lot of these guys have very avoidant behavior. They seek out attachment, and the second they start attaching, they push you away, and they don't know how to deal with that. They start saying, it's your fault. You suck. Hope that helps. Please ask me again, Paul. Gracie. And again, guys, please tell me your locations. Please tell us where you are from. Please, please, please. Thank you. Hello, David. I've been in no contact from years. Then this ex-narc, why they keep mirroring us and everything on social media when we're not in their range. Why they do all these things. Yes, narcissists have been known, and they're notorious for mirroring people, copying people, mimicking people. They have a very poor sense of who they are, poor sense of self. A lot of narcissists grow up. Narcissism is typically, a lot of it's caused by no boundaries with the children. So I'm not even going to care what you're doing. Go here, go there, no real punishment, and then maybe some nasty abuse or trauma maybe mixed in there, but it's just inappropriate. Inappropriate. Good when they're bad, bad when they're good type stuff. Also, a lot of people with personality disorders, especially in the cluster B, dissociate a lot. And if we dissociate a lot throughout your childhood and your life, it's really, you have a real poor sense of self, a poor sense of who you are as a person. So they copy and mimic people. If you have lots of shame and you feel that you're a bad person and you feel that you're insignificant, you tend to do what other people are doing to be accepted. That's another reason. Okay. I made a video called Mirroring. Go check it out. It might help. Thanks, Gracie. Fiercey Queen. Hello, David from Poland. How do these narcissists maintain their long-term relationships with one person? How long their relationship remains if they are committed to them? Yes, I'm sure there's narcissists that are committed to their partners and may not cheat. Sure. How do let me just say, how do long-term relationships happen with narcissists, right? Well, let me give you one example. If a narcissist is very emotionally abusing all the time, okay, they need that reaction. They need a specific reaction, and that's that fight. And they almost kind of put them in their place a little bit, but not too much, and let them get away with it a little bit, and these kinds of things. So if they if they hurt their victim too much, they break them. They're not exciting anymore. If they become just a doormat, it's not exciting. There's no drama. Just like you guys get addicted to that drama, and you say, normal, healthy people are boring, right? You're used to that trauma, right? So how does it last? Well, they gotta have a really good victim that fights back and puts up with their BS and accepts them and doesn't make them feel like bad people too much, and always exciting them, right? I think, if they're cheaters, then they get away with cheating. They aren't called out all the time. Or maybe it's not too easy. They're almost caught all the time. I think they like stuff like that. I do. Pat from North Carolina. Hello, Pat. My question, I started writing to a guy in another state just recently. I sent him one photo of me, and he replied with 8 photos of him. My first thought was, I wonder if he is an attention-seeking narcissist. Do you think I'm looking for red flags obsessively? Well, I think if you're even asking me, Pat, then most likely you're hyper-vigilant. You're really afraid of getting hurt. And maybe that needs to tell you to back off a little bit. But look, you don't need to be so scared, okay? He sent you 8 photos, right? He is some guy in another state. We try to control the pace at anything goes, guys. Don't commit right away. Don't start telling him how great he is right away. If he's love bombing you and idealizing you, tell them to slow down and stop. You guys can do that. Do you know that? I've done that. You can do it. Someone's idealizing you too much, and you can feel it. And it's not wrong to tell them, please calm down. If you're feeling too hey, or if you're just worried okay, this is getting too, just tell them to slow down. Do it. Say, look, I'm glad you think I'm such a great guy, but I'm really not. Maybe I'm not that great. I'm not the greatest thing since sliced bread. And even if they say, oh, I know you're not, but still, it's about how you feel. And I know you're going to feel like you're hurting somebody who's just being nice to you. But it's about how you feel, and that's where it starts, guys. It's got to start there, at least. They're rushing the relationship. That rushes a relationship when you guys love bomb. Okay? Slow down. Don't commit, Pat. If it's weird you sent 8 photos, say, why'd you send me 8 photos of you? Say things like this to people. Okay? Oh, that helps. You got to speak up, guys. Next question's from Long Rusty from the United Kingdom. Hello. I'm 7 months no contact from a toxic relationship. Good. I found that recovering from the relationship revealed other toxic relationships within my family that I was oblivious to until I became more aware due to the recovery process. I think it is very important to find the root causes of our own vulnerability. Can you speak on how our family dynamic sets us up for life to be vulnerable, and also how to be careful not to jump too swift conclusions? This is a very tricky area when we only want the best for ourselves and others. Thanks. So, I talk about this all the time. This is my biggest thing. What we're doing here, guys, these huge traumatic experiences in our adult life pretty much are coming from our childhood. Okay? Neglect, abuse. Makes us feel like shame, makes us feel like bad people. Biggest thing is this, I'm telling you right now. Emotional needs. We all have emotional needs. Babies, children have emotional needs. They need to be met. It's the most important things to baby. Babies don't care about physical needs. I'm serious. They don't attach to anybody who provides physical needs. They attach to people who provide emotional needs. That's how important they are. Children that have their emotional needs met learn how to do that for themselves when they grow up. Children that do not have their emotional needs met never learn how to do that for themselves. Okay? If you do not learn how to meet your emotional needs, then your emotional needs are not being met. You're sick. If your physical needs aren't being met, you're sick. If your emotional needs aren't being met, you're emotionally sick. Okay? So we meet other people that are emotionally sick, abusers. If we've been abused, neglect, guys, neglect is abuse. There's no reason to keep those apart. Because, especially since I've been doing the work that I've been doing, I'm telling you right now that there's, if you want to just break it up into sexual, physical, and neglect, sexual abuse, physical abuse, and just neglect, I'm seeing people way more damaged in adulthood from the neglect. It's more psychologically damaging to be left alone all the time, not have anything you need. Most physical and sexual abusers tend to go through golden periods where it stops and starts, stops and starts. I'm not trying to take that away from anyone who's been physically or sexually abused. If you have, then you've been neglected. You haven't had your emotional needs met if you've been beaten or molested. So you've been neglected too. Okay? It's damaging. Damaging. We've got to learn how to give ourselves what we need. That's why you're not learning if you're serial dating, guys. I cannot stress this enough. Don't date right after you just had bad dating experience. There's things to learn. You cannot learn that from dating a new person and a new person and a new person. Okay? We've got to stop. We've got to look at ourselves, because that's what's not going on if we keep repeating it. And that's not, narcissists keep repeating it. They're not looking at themselves. They're not looking inside. They're not looking at what they've done. They're just blaming, pointing fingers. That's why I said stay away from people that point fingers, make accusations, talk bad about people. We don't do that. And there's no excuse. None. I don't care if people are putting on their cape and becoming heroes and thinking, oh, I don't care about myself, I'm doing this for you. No. No, 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 no. People have reasons they do stuff like this. Okay? So, heal from the past. If you have a traumatic relationship and you haven't healed from it, it will carry on into the next one. We got to heal from that before we move on. Why did you have that traumatic relationship? Something before that, probably. Probably. Guys, we aren't with somebody for years of trauma, months, years, trauma, if everything else was fine in our life. If we always give ourselves what we need and we know how to make ourselves feel good, then we don't do that. And that's why after a bad relationship, you've got to learn to do that. You've got to get better. You've got to feel better. And you got to do that by yourself in the sense of no dating. Because dating will just feel better. And you'll think, I did it, and then that relationship you're just going to feel horrible. I hope I'm making sense. Thank you. Watch my CPTSD videos, guys. I say this all the time. Most of your questions are all addressed in those videos. Okay? There's not a lot. They're not long, but it's got the most information, the most helpful stuff for you, and almost answers all your guys' questions, okay? Especially the ones about you, okay? And that's where you're going to learn more. You're not going to learn about you in your life by learning about narcissists. You're going to learn more in your life and more about you when you examine yourself. Okay? Thanks, guys. That's the end of it. That's all of it. If you can help me do what I'm doing, trying to help people, trying to get this information out. I needed it. Took me years to get it. There's people out there that don't know it, people that have been suffering for years. Sometimes a video is all they need. Okay? So please help me get it out there. Do what you can. Thanks. Love yourself first, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye-bye.